Okay, hello. Hello, hello. So it's the 28th of August 2024 EU session. Decent day yesterday. Yesterday was a good day. I still feel like there's a lot to be left, a lot left to be desired on some of my trade management. So I'm going to try and improve on that because, again, I'm finding myself in a position where I'm closing trades far too early, just out of fear. Well, that's what I've realized when looking back on the videos, which have been tremendously helpful. So I'm gonna try sitting on my hands. I want to get these trades to break even, and then I'm gonna let them run. Obviously, if there's a structure point where taking profit would be a good idea, I'll look at that. But I don't want to start snatching at profits out of fear and chase my account balance, which I think is exactly what I've been doing. So I want to try and stop that. I'm going to make an actual effort to kind of go out of my comfort zone when it comes to taking the profits too soon. So we've got about 3 minutes until market open, and I'm hoping for a good session. Like I said, the past 2 days have been good, but again, going over my videos, I've left so many points on the table. It actually annoyed me quite a lot, and that's on me. So that's something that I have to work on, and I'm gonna try and work on it, because the whole point of this is to improve not only the account balance, but improve myself as a trader. And that's, at this point in time, I think my biggest issue is not allowing the trade to reach its full potential. It's been the issue since I started this whole thing. I outright said it from video one that was something that I need to work on, and I haven't been doing very well. I've kind of been chasing the account balance, trying to grow the account. Because it's such a small account, I'm trying to grow it to a meaningful, well, not meaningful, but at least to a point where I can start either increasing position size or be able to decrease position size and take on a trade where there's perhaps a little bit more risk due to the range of the signal candle. That's the goal. So yeah, pretty much business as usual. We've got 1 minute and 35 seconds to open. I'm just going to change the scene here. And what I've found is that, I don't know why I didn't know this before, but essentially I'm using OBS, okay? And I can stream and I can record at the same time. Don't know why it didn't occur to me in the past, but it has now. So when there's a trade set up that looks as though I'm going to get filled, I'm going to start recording a separate video, because I tried to do a bit of an edit in YouTube, and doesn't work very well. I can't edit down the live streams to a trade by trade basis. Sometimes it'll allow me to save the video as a new video, sometimes it won't. So I want to record the trades separately, edit the video if needs be, and then have it on hand as each trade on its own. That way it's just easier for me to revert back to, and it also, if it's a good trade, it provides a little bit of inspiration for me. If it's a bad trade, it provides a lesson for me. So that's the idea. Right, so let's change over here. We've got 15 seconds to go. Quite a strong push before the open. So we've got a positive showing in the DAX and a bit of a negative showing in the FTSE. And just so if anybody does watch, I vape. I need the nicotine for the stress. So forgive me. Right, so let's get set up here in our journal. Looking a little bit ragged. So we have the 28th. This year is just flying by. Okay, so EU session. FTSE. And DAX. Okay, so we're looking for hopefully a first bar negative in the FTSE. We had first bar positive yesterday, and if we'd actually taken the trade, the first bar positive trade that happened a lot later on in the day, we would have seen a pretty good trade out of the FTSE. So got to take every setup in context, because that's the only way that I can gauge the effectiveness. I have every confidence in my strategy. I just don't have confidence in the amount of risk I can handle. CPR in New Zealand. Australia. Not going to have much of an effect. Yeah, so there's no real news to speak of today. That's a nice push down in the FTSE. It looks like we're going to have first bar negative. I'm going to start looking at a point here to potentially set up the long position beforehand. Somewhere where we may get a bounce. Have a look on the 30 minutes. 30 minute, this structure is quite far away. This is a bit of resistance that may turn support here at 35, call it 350. No, not 350. 355, thereabouts. I forget that I'm on the FTSE. Hopefully it doesn't just rocket the other way straight off the new bar. Like that. Right, so we're going to take that trade. I'm going to move it up just a little bit, just to ensure that we do actually get filled. 40 points is a bit much on the stop loss. Going to bring that up. Okay, so we have been filled. on a first bar negative. Let me start recording that. Oh wow, look at that run. Goodness gracious. Perhaps a little bit tight on the stop loss. Let's go below these lows. That's very weak out of the FTSE. Goodness gracious. Okay, so we're in the FTSE first bar negative. Long position. 83.55. Phew, I wonder if we're going to test these lows. In which case maybe a long position at this area would have been a better idea if it gets down there. Let's wait and see. So pretty neutral opening for the DAX. It basically closed where it opened, so. Wow, yeah, that's very weak in the FTSE. Wowzer. $20 is usually where what our risk on this specific trade. It kind of puts us right at these lows. We'll see. We will see. I'll do a thing here where I can pause this recording. Otherwise it's gonna just wait and see at kind of the culmination of the trade. Start recording again. I want to get the entry and the exit. The in-between waiting is not all that important. Wow, look at that. Candles back to back, closing right on the open. So from a profit taking point of view, I'd look to take profit where the first bar negative sell order is, if we do manage to get back up there. So still looking quite weak. Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's a good area for a take profit. But that's obviously speaking ahead of time. We may get stopped out, so we'll just have to wait and see. But that's definitely where I'd look. We got some structure up here, so if price does get back up there, I'd look for it to turn. Difficult to drink tea when you've got a microphone in your mouth. Not seeing any buyers here really. Not seeing any buyers at all. Okay, so brunch break. Aggressive is going to set up now. This is the fourth bar. That's our signal bar starting to print. That closed right on its low. Whether or not that's a good sign, but maybe a bit of an exhaustion candle. we hope. We'll have to wait and see. But we got a relatively long way to go just to get back to break even in FTSE terms. So time will tell. So I'm keeping an eye on the movement of the FTSE in the top tab here. I can see how many points it's moving in and in which direction relative to the candle it's just opened. So I'm just keeping an eye on the DAX for now. See how this aggressive is going to set up. It's a relatively small bar, which is not ideal. I know it is from a risk point of view, but the issue then becomes when you have a very small range, the likelihood of you being stopped out is a lot higher. Less risk, but higher chance of being stopped out. So I'd like to see a little bit of movement here on the DAX. Yeah, that's not looking very good, folks. That's not looking very good at all. This is a weak market. Yeah, I might look at actually cutting it early. I'm seeing no indication that there's any strength here. Let's give it a bit more time. It looks as though we are on the way down to these previous lows. Whether we get a retracement beforehand, it doesn't look that way at this point in time. It looks as though we steadily on the decline to these lows. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I would look again at these levels to buy. But just from what I'm seeing at the moment, there doesn't seem to be any buyers around. Okay, so we got a little bit more movement out of the DAX. That's a little bit better. There's a strong. I wouldn't say a strong push, but it's a bit better. Alright, so here comes our aggressive. And we're going to set that up relatively quickly. Hopefully we don't get a mess around like before. And this is incredibly weak. think if we get to 15, I'm out. Oh, that's right at these lows. Decision time. What are we working with here? So about 20 points of risk on the DAX. Hopefully we don't have another range like we've had a few times in the past, where the DAX just ranges on us and it takes us between the top and the bottom. Let's leave it at 20. So now I'm up and down here with the stop loss. It's better to just, well, I don't think it's better to just set it. I think there's nothing wrong with adjusting as price plays out. I'm just considering these lows. Hmm. In my mind, this is a little bit of relief before another push. Let's see. This chair makes so much noise. this is an incredibly weak FTSE. Uh, I don't know if I want to be in it anymore. Okay, we are long the DAX. Let's get rid of that for now. So DAX aggressive long at 18,758. Alright, let's see what we get out of the DAX here. So I'll be looking around about 15 points to start moving, stop loss to break even. I can already decrease the risk a little bit. That might be a bit tight. Let's go to there. FTSE is a no-go. I think I'm going to close it. Got to know when to cut the trade. And there's no signs of strength here. If we break under this low, I'm going to close it. Right, we got 5 seconds of this candle. Let's see if we get a retracement or a follow through. Okay, school run set up. Should we add? I might add on a reduced size. Yeah, if we get below these lows, I'm cutting the FTSE. Okay, so long position DAX, we'll look to add on the traditional side another half a position size if we do get there. Big retracement off of that one. Pretty sure this happened to me not so long ago, where I was in on the aggressive side and stopped out. Also long position on the aggressive side, stopped me out, and then went long anyway on the traditional side. And yeah, but now it looks like we are just messing around here. Not a good morning so far. Looks like we're going to be stopped out for -13, and FTSE I'm closing. Okay, so FTSE we've lost, and we've lost in, okay, so -26 points straight off. Good grief. What I want to do is one. Trade. Close that. And trade. Yeah, that's a very weak FTSE today. Where are we? I might actually buy it now. I'm gonna buy the FTSE here, just on these lows. Might not be the greatest entry. Should have maybe waited a little bit longer, but I'm looking at a bounce off of these lows. Yeah, so maybe also not the greatest entry. Maybe I was a little bit too quick there, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to have a lot of risk on this one, I don't think. They also. Okay, and DAX is doing what it does best, and that's range. Lovely. Okay, so not a very good start to the morning. We are 26 points down. Maybe this was the low. I would have expected to see some buyers over here below these lows, Perhaps the FTSE is just too weak. Damn it. Okay, well that's where we stand at the moment. So, I mean, we still don't know whether or not that was a good idea. You know, in my book, buying these lows is not the worst thing in the world to do. Like I said, I would imagine there would have been some buyers perched down here somewhere. But the FTSE is, I think, hell-bent on going lower today. DAX is doing its ranging thing. That's where we are. So if we hadn't have reduced our risk, we would have been in a bit of a better position in the DAX, but it's just how it goes. Alright, 1.5 minutes left of the current candle. Okay, let's see what we get out of this one. If we're going to continue down, we'll see a bit of a turnaround. DAX isn't doing a damn thing. Damn it, FTSE. Alright, so again, if we get below this low, I think I'll cut this FTSE trade, because then it's certainly pushing lower. the DAX is just caught in its range. Currently. That's what we're looking like on the 10-minute. Very slow in the DAX today. Alright, are we going to get filled here long? Buyers are putting up a fight, but I'm wondering if this isn't just a retracement before a further breakdown. Certainly appears that way. So yeah, essentially if we get back below this candle here, I don't want to be in it anymore. And DAX came close to filling us, and now it's going back down. We're having a look at the bar at 12 o'clock. Okay, we've been taken long in the DAX once more. I don't know why we got, that seemed like a bit of slippage there. By about a point or two. Okay, so just entering everything into the journal quickly. And then traditional. In the DAX, that was at 18,771. Let's see if we can get a rally out of the DAX. We are at previous highs, which is a little bit concerning. FTSE's slowly coming good. see a close above this high to be a bit more confident. That's at around 83.47. .30 seconds left of this 15-minute bar. I'm hoping for follow through. If we get a strong close here. Okay, so this is the 12-minute bar. This is known as the teenager. It's the 13th 5-minute bar from the open. Important candle in my book. Get below this candle, I'm not interested anymore in the long position. Lovely coffee. Okay, looking a little bit better in the FTSE. Reduce the risk a little bit further. And DAX is doing its usual. I will look at flipping the switch on the DAX. But no great cause for concern just yet. Right, so we can move to break even here on the FTSE now. So that's risk free. Okay. This is a morning of hurt, it seems. Well, you're going to get them. Not every day can be paradise. Okay, damn it. Yeah, break even on the FTSE. Ah, that's upsetting. We're 10 FTSE points in profit before this massive bearish candle that just came out of nowhere. I think the FTSE is very weak today. Okay, so break even. And Dow is also creaming. Dow. I keep calling it the Dow. The DAX is also creaming us. Yeah, not looking like a very good day, ladies and gentlemen. I thought we were on our way back up there. I almost want to be short now in the FTSE. Yeah, DAX is also killing us. If you go back up now, not catching a break today, it doesn't seem. Right, so depending on what this DAX trade does, if it stops us out, I will look at flipping the switch, but then I think I'm done. We'll take it on as a losing morning. Everything is looking very weak. Actually, I want to be short the FTSE. If it gets below 339, yeah, not looking too good. I think I'm going to close that. Whew. We are getting hammered today. Okay, so we're negative 43 points. If this goes back up now, I'm kind of just chasing it, aren't I? In this range. Closed that maybe too early. So that's going to be a bit of a lesson. If it does take us long again. Which it looks as though it's going to do. Heavens above. Okay, so DAX closed. Minus 17. Yeah, we're going to be taken long again. What am I doing? Concentrate. Man, not good. Not good. It's going to be some serious reflection time after this session. Yeah, we're going to be taken long again. Fooled us and turned the other way. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Truce. Truce, truce, truce. Double bottom. Sucking on this thing a lot today. I need to see a very good rally here. We've got, what are we down again? 43 points. I need to see a really good rally. Judging how weak the FTSE is, I don't know if we're going to see it. And internet is back. Let's see how that's affected us. Yeah. Yeah, should have sold. And now that doesn't bode too well for our long position, with the FTSE being this weak. Although also kind of at those previous highs. Well, let's see. Let's see how it goes. We're already in it to the tune of 43 points. We may as well just try and make the most of the rest of the session. But I've accepted those losses. And we just move on from them. Nothing we can do. That's the way trading goes. You have a good few days. Even though I left a lot of points on the table, they were still good days for the account. So you're going to have a bad day. It's just part and parcel. I'd like to see obviously because I'm long, I'd like to see a nice rally here out of the DAX. But we still have a brunch break, and that's coming up on the next candle. And depending on what price does, we can look later on in the day. Wow, yeah, FTSE is coming back down to perhaps 83.30. We're not seeing much out of the DAX, so time will tell. Yeah, so that's a good lesson to myself, is cutting this the previous DAX position. You know, as much as I want to cut the losing position as quickly as possible relative to my risk profile, cutting it too soon can also be a bit of a detriment, because now obviously the previous candle didn't get all the way down to where my stop loss was positioned before retracing back up again, so I essentially took that loss on for nothing. And now I'm in another position where the risk is the same, and I can be in, I could have to cut the risk again or take a full loss. So essentially I'm doubling up on my loss there. Not good trading. It's just I am trading a full dollar position per point on the DAX now. So, you know, when I'm risking 32 points, it's $32 on the account, and that's a fair percentage bit of risk. So, you know, I saw it run 17 points against me. In my mind at the time, without knowing whether it would continue down towards my stop loss, I wanted to cut that risk and not realize the full 32 points of full risk on the trade. You know, in my mind, I say to myself, I can always re-enter, but if it does the exact same thing again, I'm back in the same boat. Now I could look at taking at cutting the position short again to the value of the full risk that I would have realized on the first trade, but that's not a very good thing to do. So it's little things like that where you are in the trade and the emotions start to kick in, where you make those, you know, those rash decisions, and they can hurt you. Because I mean, now we're back in a long position and we are again losing 2 points because it doesn't look as though the DAX is going to rally any here at the moment. So again, I'm going to find myself at a point where if it starts going against me to any greater degree, do I cut the trade with the possibility of it then going back up again, in which case I'd have to retake another long position, or do I just stop there? So that's kind of, you don't want to chase the trade, but you also don't want to miss out, because that could be the points in which it rallies 50 points. You don't know. And then you really kick yourself when you don't re-enter and it rallies 50 points. That's when you want to go home. So that is the difficult part of trading. Having the strategy and the edge and trading the edge, that's not difficult. If it's a mechanical entry, which this specific strategy is, it's very mechanical in nature, so I know exactly where I'm going to enter based on a specific candle. But the difficult part is the mental aspect when you have to manage that position, and that's what you don't see often. Especially when you watch these YouTube gurus, they don't touch too much on that side of it, and the actual sitting and watching the trade and making the decisions. Because I mean, we've been sitting here now for, this is the second 15-minute bar that we've been in on this second long position on the DAX. So we've been sitting here for 15 minutes. A lot of thoughts can creep into the brain during that 15-minute period, or 30-minute period, essentially. How many thoughts do you have every minute? And when your focus is specifically on the position that you're in, you know, that's when the brain starts playing games with you. Like, you know, you see it now. It's a point against us. Is it going to break down now? And then it goes 5 points in our favor. Okay, is it going to run, or is it going to turn around here? Should I just take the 5 points? You know, that's where it gets tricky. So that's the difficult side of trading. Trading the strategy, that's easy. Taking a loss, that's difficult. But it's when you're in the actual trade, making the decision when to take the loss. Because you never know what it's going to do. I mean, that's a perfect example. We're in the first long position and it went 17 points against us. Now, in my mind, I want to cut my loss as soon as I can. If it looks as though it's going against us, 17 points translates to $17 on a $900 account. That's a fair amount of loss. So I think to myself, okay, well, I'm not willing to let it go to the full risk. But even saying that out loud is that's completely wrong, in that the risk should be accepted completely before the trade is even taken. Now, unfortunately, again, as much as I love this strategy and as much confidence as I have in this strategy, I've said it before, it's very bar dependent. So the setup bar is going to dictate how much risk you're going to have on the trade. Whether you take the trade or not, that's obviously your decision, but you still have to accept that risk fully. And there, I don't think I accepted. Well, I did accept the risk, I just didn't want to let it run all the way to the full 30 points. Just based on the movement of that candle and how it was breaking down. That's the tough part. That's the part that you don't see on YouTube and things like that. So that's where it gets really difficult. And I mean, now I'm risking another 32 points on this trade, which I've accepted to a degree, but if it does go against me more than I would like, based on what I'm seeing on the chart, like I did in the first position, I may cut it. But yeah, that's what makes this game so difficult, and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. If I wasn't so constrained with regards to account balance, it wouldn't really bother me, because then I'd just adjust my position size. But see if we can break these highs. So kind of, now in my rule book, 10 points, I want to start at looking at decreasing my risk. So, I would look at moving my stop loss up kind of to that point there. But with the price action that we've seen so far, it's not outside the realms of impossible that the DAX turns around here and breaks down. So I guess you just got to just trade your rules. So I've decreased the risk now. I'm going to look for at least 15 to 20 points before I move my stop to break even. But you're still not, well, it's never a guarantee that it's going to rally to that point. But, now for me, decreasing my risk is a good move. It's 10 points in my favor. I decrease my risk by 10 points, and manage it as best as possible. So let's see now if we can get up to about 15 points, and then I'll look at break even. 15-20 points, somewhere around there. I'm not thinking about my losses at this point. I want to keep that out of my mind, because then it becomes a case of I'm just looking at this move to get to a certain point where I close just to recoup my losses. That's also not the way that I want to think. I want to treat this as a completely separate position, and if it gets to where my losses are for the day, not necessarily close it because of that. If there is another reason to close the trade, a structure point, it looks as though there's going to be a turnaround, rather base the decision on that, not on necessarily because it's made up for your previous loss, because that's just then trading the account, it's not trading the market. Another difficult thing to well, I wouldn't say perfect because you can't really perfect it, but it's another difficult aspect of trading that you have to kind of abide by. So now we're at those highs. We've just pushed above them. Traditionally, you would see a few sellers up there. Well, traditionally, but usually you would see a few sellers up there. We've got to see if we can, if the buyers want to see higher prices here, and hopefully just be along for the ride. Still got about 8 minutes left of this candle. So if I look at a previous price structure point of view, we kind of right at this level here. So this is a bit of a key level. You can see how many times it's acted as resistance. So it's sketchy. It is sketchy, but you know, nobody knows where the high is, and I'm not smart enough to say, oh, this is the high, it's going to turn around from here. It could very well rally straight past those highs. We'll have to just wait and see. Okay, so now we're about 13 points in profit. I can scoot my stop loss up a little bit more, just reduce the risk further. So that's kind of where I was from a risk point of view in the beginning. That's where I cut the last trade at about 17 points. So that's also quite a nice positive bar out of the FTSE. Let's see if we can continue here. So from a structure point of view, we kind of at it at the moment. So there's a lot of room to the upside. There's a lot of scar. So there's not a lot of structure points to base taking profit on at this point. But yeah, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute bathroom break. I will be back momentarily. I know that was quick, but the bathroom's just next door. um, and then the other thing is like you can look at kind of what the historical typical range would be of the DAX if we look at it in the past. How likely is a 60-point rally here? Is it something that we're likely to see? I mean, we've already off the open, we are 100 points. So what are we looking at here? Is there a 60-point push kind of commonplace? So I'm looking at it and I'm saying no. If anything, in my mind, we're getting kind of to the peak here. But that's just from, you don't know. It could keep going up. So it's just those little things that you need to consider. I mean, we 18, 19 points in profit now. We've got about 2.5 minutes left of this candle. What is the likelihood we see a big retracement candle after this push? It's a possibility. We're seeing new highs. There's going to be traders out there who are going to want to take profit. We could hit a whole lot of liquidity just above these highs, which is where we are at the moment. A whole lot of selling liquidity. So we kind of got to be a little bit smart about it. But at the same time, you close the trade here and it rallies another 20 points. You're not going to be happy with yourself. So I'm looking at it right now as a case of, is this kind of the best that we're going to see? I'm going to look at the next candle and how it behaves if we start seeing a big retracement. We are break even at the moment, so risk-free trade. But I'm just rambling. I am just rambling. Dr. David Paul said that he doesn't like to give back more than half of what he's already made in a position. So if he sees that the market is reversing on him, and it reverses more than half of his profit, that's kind of the indicating point that that's where he takes the profit, if it was to reverse on you. I mean, now we are, 24 points in profit. So we've got 20 seconds left of this candle. Wait and see what the next one does. If it starts retracing on us to the halfway point, but you don't want to just necessarily adopt the way that he does it. His trading style could be worlds apart from how I trade. It's just, I mean, the likelihood of us seeing a bit of a retracement here is high. So we had a pretty positive candle here in the FTSE. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, so this is the brunch break. Right, we're already in it long, so I'm not going to look to add, but I am going to look to start securing a bit more profit. We're 27 points at the moment. But yeah, I don't, depending on the behavior of this candle, I don't know if I'm going to be in it for too much longer just because of my comfort level. I'd hate to give back 28 points. It's got nothing to do with the losses that I've accrued so far. It's got nothing to do with that. I'm not looking to make those back. I'm just thinking of the full potential of this position. Where does it capitulate? Wait and see. So we've got a turnaround on the FTSE. Does that translate to the DAX now? It's a movement like that concerns me. When you see that sharp pushback. But you know, it shouldn't bother me if it does turn around now and stop me out, because like I say, the previous losses I'm not even thinking about, so this is a whole new trade. Why not try and maximize the profits? Hmm. Could look to add here on the brunch break. See how strong it is. I'm just looking at where my stop loss is. If it does come back down to test these, to retest these, I'm kind of right at it before it moves back up again. So, but yeah, the how do I say, the want the wanting to close this position right now in my mind is very, very strong. It's like I want to close this position. I'm thinking we're going to get a strong retracement, and there it starts. So I'm going to add here to the brunch break if it does go back up at a half a position size. So this could be a small retracement, just a bunch of people taking profit, or it could come all the way back down into this range, which is likely. Never say never. Yeah, here it comes. So all of this yammering is just me talking myself through what I'm thinking. That's kind of the whole point of this exercise. So that when I do go back and I look at the trades and I watch the videos, it's a verbal representation of what I was thinking and what maybe I could have done better, should have done better. That's the whole point of the videos. So now we've got 6 minutes left of this bar. So it's still quite a lot of movement that we can see in it. So far it's not the strongest retracement. Probably pause my recording so it doesn't blow up my hard drive, space-wise. But right now I am saying to myself, take the points and run. And I have set up for a brunch break, a long position to add. We'll see, I might not keep it for very long. Where is... So I'm going to get rid of the sell order for now. So I'm going to have the stop loss for the second position where our first position is. But I'm going to manage that one quite quickly if we do get triggered. Yeah, there's that big retracement now. So now is where it gets difficult, because we've gone from 27 points in profit down to 15 points in profit. But this is just normal ebb and flow. But it plays such a big psychological part. Now we're 12 points, and now we start saying, well, shit, is it going to go all the way down and stop us out for break even? What is it going to do? Oh, do we take those 12 points and run the risk of it rallying further? Or do we just forget about those points, and if it takes us out for break even, it does, and we look for the next position? That's the game that we have to play. And that's why most people can't do it. But I'm not going to take the points. If it stops us out for break even, then it stops us out for break even. We've got 2.5 minutes left of this candle. And I went through that juice very quickly. Alright, so DAX. Let's just get back to where we were here on our journal. SRS. Long. 18,770. So we definitely did see about a point of slippage on that last position, because now it got us in where the school run is supposed to be. Stop at break even. The question I now have for myself is, if it does retrace all the way back down and take me out for break even, would I look at going long again? Or do you just leave it there? Right, so 20 seconds left of this candle. Let's see if we can survive it. I may as well just put the stop loss right at break even. And that's quite a deep retracement. So, you know. As Dr. Paul has outlined, he would have taken the profits there. Granted, slightly bigger positions that he trades with. see, can we make it back up again? Maybe we just break the prior bar's low before a rally. That coffee is dead. Quite a long stream today. So it looks like these two are locked in step at the moment. And if price does get back down here, I will certainly look at taking the short side. Absolutely. Yeah, here it comes. Okay, so it looks as though it's going to be retesting these highs, maybe as a bit of support. Got an itchy nose today. Good windy weather here at the moment, so bugger. I'm going to listen to some music while I wait. But yeah, looks like it's coming back down. Stomach is making noises. Should probably get something to eat. I mean, just looking at it, it's not a bad place I would have looked at to buy at prior bar low. So, nice strong push up. Some would call that a bull trend. We've had a push, we've had a retracement, a push, a retracement, a push, and now a retracement again. Hopefully we can get another push. FTSE's breaking down now. So, yeah, same thing's going to happen in the DAX, I think. Believe how weak the FTSE is today. So I wonder if we've seen the highs for the day on the DAX. And we may come back to test lows. So that's Well, I am considering, well, not considering, I am definitely going to take the short if it does get back down. Yeah, so I'd say break even, it looks as though. Unless we get a really good turnaround now, I'd say probably break even on this one. Break even. Can almost already write it in the journal. Oh, heavens. Okay. Alright, now we wait for the next. Could probably get rid of this brunch break. I mean, we've got a minute left of this candle, but you know, if it stays around its low, the likelihood of the next candle just pipping us out for break even before moving back up is, I'd say, quite good. And FTSE is just dumping. And DAX is going to follow, I think. Damn it. Okay, well, sometimes that happens, unfortunately. Can't feel hard done by. Might just stop us out for break even before moving up again. Nah, that's definitely wants to go down now. The sellers have taken control. I'm trying to use reverse psychology here. Should have been short the FTSE today. Yeah, there it is, break even. Now does it move back up? Oh my good grief. This stuff will drive you nuts. It will drive you absolutely nuts. Okay, I think I'm going to stop streaming there. It's been a long time. I'm going to carry on trading. And if I do get filled in a position, I will update in the US. So yeah, alright, that'll do it. Thanks very much. Yeah, just sorry, before I go, let me just give myself a breakdown on what 41 points a loser. Great. Alright, cool. I'll see you in the US session. Bye bye.